Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Destiny. I'm Death from Above. This is the submission versus out of bounds. Some SMGs I'm putting head to head, and I want to ask the question, is out of bounds better than submission? Answer in the comments below. And hey, have you hit the subscribe button? YouTube tells me you haven't, at least half of you or more. So if you haven't, you should. And hit the join button. Check out the channel membership. You can support the channel, and you can get some cool emotes. Come by the stream that I do right here often. Emotes, large D, check it out. It's worth it. So, submission versus out of bounds. I got them pulled up right here on light.gg. We're gonna go through these two guns, and we're gonna zoom in a little bit. Yeah, zoom it in for me, darling. So one of them is a raid SMG. The other one is a crucible drop SMG. The perk pool is very different on these two, because this one is craftable if you get enough of the deep sight resonant versions. This one, you just gotta hope you get the right one, but you're gonna get a ton of them, especially if you play on Crucible double reward weeks with a ghost that gives you double drops when you get drops. So that gun, you're gonna get a lot. I've got a bunch of them. There's a lot of them in my inventory. We're gonna go through the inventory, and I'll show you the ones I got. I don't have any submissions. I need to run the raid, Valve the Disciple, to get it. But I'm gonna compare the two guns, pick a favorite. I'll tell you why I think maybe out of bounds could beat submission. I have seen submission in PvP be very effective, so this is going to be a more PvP focused video. But we're going to put them head to heads. I'll show you the base stat head to head, then I'll show you the god roll head to head, and then I'll show you, you know, some other things. Giggity. So let's get into it. Submachine gun head to head. Submission is legendary and kinetic. So you could theoretically run both of these at the same time. That's what she said. So if you're a Titan with them SMG pants, run them both. Get really good rolls on both of them, run them both, and just mow people down. I really like both of these in PvP. They are top tier PvP SMGs. Out of bounds really surprised me. I did a whole stream on it, and it really did surprise me with how good and usable it is. So submission is a kinetic legendary. Out of bounds is an arc legendary. Arc energy legendary SMG. They're both 900 RPM. They both have 15 impact. Out of bounds actually has more range out of the box than submission does, but submission has a little bit more stability, handling, reload speed. Magazine size is one bigger. Everyone effectiveness is a little bit better. Aim assist is a little bit better. I don't know what inventory size is. I clicked that and it does. I don't understand what inventory size is. Zoom is one more on the submission, and recoil. So I think what happens with submission is the stats are so good out of the box. It destroys everything comparatively because it's so naturally stable, easy to handle, good reload speed. Like, everything's really good on submission. It's like just a notch. Here, I'll show you. It's just a notch above out of bounds, and out of bounds is very good. So we got submission right here and out of bounds right here. You can see submission is just a notch. Oh, I closed the god roll submission. No, I closed the god roll. My phone's ringing. I closed the god roll out of bounds that I made. No, I closed the god roll submission. No, I closed submission. Oh my gosh, chat. I do these videos a lot. All right, here's submission, and here's out of bounds. You can see them. Submission is just a little bit better in everything but range. Just a little bit better. And I think that recoil direction being straight vertical is such a big benefit to the gun, because out of bounds is almost vertical, but it's a little off. So submission being so vertical means those headshots are probably really easy to get. Now, let's keep on going down the list. They do have the same barrels, so you can get all the same barrels on submission or out of bounds. Enhanced traits, submission is the only one that has enhanced traits because it's the only one that's craftable. Out of bounds is not craftable. They both are lightweight frames, so you move faster with the weapon, basically. Magazines, they have similar magazines. Submission has accurized, whereas out of bounds has ricochet. They don't share those two, so I would argue those are both the best in slot for both of those guns. Origin traits, out of bounds has 2 Amalan fluid dynamics, which I don't really like, and one quiet moment. Whereas submission has Soul Drinker, gain health based on the number of hits before reloading. Generates health on reload based on the amount of hits beforehand. That's really good for PvP. Like, that's really good. And then you can see the traits down here. We'll look at those on Gunsmith and talk about the two guns. So let's look at the traits. One Quiet Moment has a ton, so many. Does have rangefinder. If I'm going PvP, I want rangefinder and perpetual motion. But you can see out of the gate, damage fall off is 11.6 to 16.6, whereas submission is 11.4 to 16.8. About the same. Same reload speed. They're very similar. Eerily similar. I think the handling, stability, and recoil direction stat for submission may give it a little bit of an edge. Just a little bit of a usability edge. It's a little bit more of a forgiving SMG. Whereas out of bounds, still very forgiving, just not as forgiving as submission is. Now, I built out 2 god rolls. One for submission, and one for out of bounds. These are very PvP focused god rolls. I went with corkscrew rifling, accurized rounds, perpetual motion, frenzy, both of them enhanced. The Soul Drinker perk, sprint grip, and range on the masterwork for submission. And for out of bounds, I went corkscrew rifling, ricochet rounds, perpetual motion, rangefinder, one quiet moment, sprint grip again, and a range masterwork again. So you can see how like really well rolled PvP versions of this gun stack up next to each other. I gotta say, out of bounds still is got a little bit more range. Submission, depending on how your perk setup is, the stability may not need as much help as the out of bounds, but out of bounds got a little bit more stability help than the submission did. Handling still similar. Aim assist, recoil direction, everything is still pretty similar, but it looks like the choice of corkscrew and ricochet gives it a little bit more stability, and that's going to give you a little bit more. You get a little bit more range addition with submission, so the range ends up being about the same on both of them. But you can have rangefinder on out of bounds. You cannot have rangefinder on submission. It's not there. So I went with frenzy instead, because frenzy will give you the damage, handling, and reload, which frenzy's real good if you get that going in PvP. But I like rangefinder because it's always active. It's going to give you the edge here in the terms of range. So if you don't have a submission, you don't have this gun, and you want to go against it with an out of bounds, range masterwork, rangefinder, and you will outrange it. Now you're going to have to play in that extra little bit of range, which is going to give you I don't know how much it gives you. Usually it's about 20%. I don't know. I imagine it's going to push it out far enough where if you know the range, you can play out of the range of submission. Just enough. Just enough. Hopefully you'll be one of those things where you'd win head to head just enough, because I feel like submission is pretty dominant in PvP. So these are the 2 god rolls that I've picked. If I had to pick one, chat, this is my pick. If I had to pick one and burn the other, I would honestly I'd pick submission. I just like that it's craftable. I like how usable and controllable it is, and I think it looks, I don't know if it looks better, but it's more interesting. There's a lot happening here in the front end of this gun, and like, how do the bullets come out of there? What is that? What is it, loaded with magic? Loaded with tears of your enemies? But yeah, if I had to pick one, I'd pick submission, just because it's pretty dang cool. You can get an overflow bait and switch version and just use it everywhere. Out of bounds has all of the options. Very good. The good thing about Destiny is you don't have to choose. You can have both. Do Vow of the Disciple, get submission, do out of bounds. You could even get submission of Adept. You get all the Adept stuff on it if you want to. You run those high-end contents, which I don't typically, but you can get the Adept version, get the Adept mods, and have a good old time. But I like out of bounds for everyone. Out of bounds is more it's more friendly to everyone. Like, anyone that has Destiny can get this out of bounds. Submission is going to require a lot more effort. So out of bounds, very, very good. So let me show you what I got in my inventory, because there's a lot of them. I do not think I have the perpetual motion rangefinder. I have a surrounded one quiet moment. I have kill clip perpetual motion. That one's very good because it's got range. Solid. I have gut shot straight pulse monitor with range. Very good too. Fragile focus perpetual motion with reload speed. Lots of different variations. Threat detector rangefinder with reload speed. If I wish it was something, I wish it had range. Perpetual motion gut shot straight with stability. Ricochet rounds. Corkscrew rifling. That one's pretty good. I think that one might be a contender unexpectedly. And we got kill clip hip fire. I got a rangefinder moving target with stability. Ricochet rounds, hammer forge. That one's going to have some nice range. What I did is anytime I would get one, I just throw it in my vault. I was like, I don't know. I'm just going to throw it in my vault. Not even going to worry about it. So I've got a hipfire rangefinder with range masterwork. Hammer forged high caliber. Ooh, that one's interesting. There's so many good rolls that you can get on this gun. Golden tricorn grave robber with range. Kill clip perpetual motion with range. That one's solid. Arrowhead break, corkscrew, appended light mag. Everything on this gun is good so far. Subsistence golden tricorn reload speed. That one's really good for PvE. Surrounded threat detector, reload speed, the good old PvE roll for an SMG, and then guts out straight, rangefinder, hipfire grip. So many interesting rolls on this gun. I love that Destiny's guns right now, you can get so many different things. So many different rolls, so many good rolls, all of them viable. So if you like it, use it. Don't let somebody tell you your god roll is not your god roll. If you think it is a god roll, then it is. So thanks for watching. Hit the like button on your way out, and I'm Death Above, and I'll see you later. See you. Bye. Check. Headphones, no headphones. 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 Lighting, good. This one, ooh. I don't know if that is better or not. I don't know. These are the things I do for a minute or two, waiting on the OBS to make sure it's all right. 2 PC setup coming soon. It's gonna be nice. Chat, I usually am about here on my microphone, but I think I've noticed that it sounds better about right here, like 3 inches from my face. I usually have it about 8 inches from my face. 8 inches. 8 inches. That's 8 inches, right? Everybody's, yeah. And realistically, I'm gonna start over.
Sup to death from above. Will death get a dub? Death from above shoots at some mans. Will he get a hit? Find out next time on stream.